Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We begin, and we're on the third lesson, part two. We are on the second dialogue. So, al-hiwar al-thani, the second dialogue. Unzur wastami' wa'aid. Look, listen, and repeat. So here we have al-musta'jirun, or al-mustajiru, sorry, because it has al at the beginning. So is the mustajirun. Mustajir is a tenant, the one who seeks to rent a place. Mustajirun. So with the al is al mustajiru. And then the conversations between the mustajir and the muajirun. And what is al muajir? Al muajiru is the landlord or the one who owns the property. Yeah. Or the thing that you want to rent. So it might not just be a property, but yeah, we're dealing with a property in this conversation. So let's go through this. Bismillah. المستأجر السلام عليكم. المؤجر وعليكم السلام. المستأجر أريد شقة من فضلك. المؤجر لدينا شقة جميلة. المستأجر كم غرفة في الشقة؟ المؤجر في الشقة 5 غرف. المستأجر في أي دور الشقة؟ المؤجر الشقة في الدور الخامس. المستأجر أريد مشاهدة الشقة. المؤجر تفضل ادخل هذا باب الشقة. المستأجر هذه شقة جميلة. So let's go over. You'll be able to review that. Go back if you want to listen to go through that with Arabic. But now what I'm going to do is going to the Arabic and English together. So mustajir we mentioned is what? The tenant, the one who looks wanting to rent. Says Assalamu alaikum, peace upon you, peace be upon you. Al muajir, landlord, and peace be upon you. Mustajir, he says Uridu shaqqatan. So here we come across a verb. Yeah. So it's a 4-letter verb. So it begins with what? The first letter begins with the Dhamma. So here we're using the Hamza. So that means I. The one who's doing the action is I. So he says Uridu. And Uridu, Yuridu, Turidu, the way we come in the present tense form, it means want. Yeah, to want something. So Uridu. So what is this type of verb we mentioned in the last lesson? When a verb, it needs to have something receive the action, it's called maf'ul bihi, and it takes fatta. So here we see that this word after the verb uridu takes the 2 fattas, shaqqatan, fattatain. So this is the receiving the action. So he's saying uridu shaqqatan. I want an apartment. So apartment's the thing that's wanted, so it takes 2 fattas. Uridu shaqqatan min fadlik. Min fadlik means please. So I want an apartment, please. The mu'ajjir, it says ladayna, we have, we're going to go into this. It's a zarf, but how do we make it up? Shaqqatun jamilatun. We have a beautiful apartment. So here jamilun normally means beautiful, but because shaqqa is feminine, it takes the feminine form, jamilatun. Al-Musta'id, the tenant says, Kam gurfatan fi shaqqa. Kam is used to signify quantity. So here, kam, it means how many. And then the word after kam usually is singular and mansub, meaning it has fatta. So it's not in the plural form, not in the plural form. It's in the singular form and it has fatta. So here it has the fattatain. The kam gurfatan. Gurfatun means room. So he says, how many rooms here? It doesn't mean one room, but it means a plural. The meaning is of plural. How many rooms? But even though it's written how many rooms, no, it means how many rooms. Kam gurfatun fil shaqqati. So fi again we said it's a preposition. It declines the word after it. So because it's definite only has one vowel and the one vowel is declined. How many rooms in the apartment? The landlord said, في الشقة 5 غرف. And we're going to go through the numbers in a bit. So he says in the apartment there are five five rooms. We're going to go through that, how to get numbers in terms and the quantity, how to do that. That's a grammar rule. Then the tenant says, في أي دور الشقة. So أي means which, but because so it's got fi coming before it, it becomes أي. It's mudaf, meaning the word after it is going to be declined, but it's not definite here. So what we do, we just leave it indefinite. So we say أي دور. So door means level or floor. So it means in which floor is the apartment. Yeah. And we notice the reading rule. This is obviously from Tajweed as well. When you have two vowels and then uh, a sukoon, Hamzat al-Wasl with sukoon, what you do is you join uh, one of the give them a noon sound. Shaq ayya dawrinish shaqqatu. That's how we do it. That's a tajweed rule. But that's a good reading rule that we can know. So that is which floor is the apartment. He says ashaqqatu fi dawr al-khamis. The apartment is in the fifth floor. Again, we say we're going to do the numbers shortly, inshallah. Then he says, the tenant says, Uridu mushahadat shaqqa. So Uridu, again, I want receiver of the action, مفعول به has a fatha, but it has only one wow. Why? Because it's possessed. And the possessor is definite and declined. So mushahada is from the word shahada, verb shahada, to view, witness or view. So mushahada is a noun, verbal noun, and it means to view on the apartment. So you're basically saying, I want to view the apartment. I want to view the apartment. So you can use that in this, for example, أريد مشاهدة الحاسوب. I want to view the computer. أريد مشاهدة التلفاز. Obviously, we don't recommend this. I want to view the TV, for example. Then he says تفضل. I'm going to come across this as well, which is a command. And it basically means different things. It means basically go ahead. So if you're at the door, you say تفضل to someone, it means come in. If you are at the table and there's food on the table, you said tafaddal, it means the person to go ahead and eat. So tafaddal means go ahead, but obviously has a different meaning in the depending on the context. Then the command form of the verb dakhala yadkhulu is used. Udkhul meaning enter. We can go through that in the grammar part. هذا باب الشقة. This is bab again. Babu shaqqa has one wow, so it's the possessed and the possessor definite declined. So this is the what? The door of the apartment. So maybe this one thought. Then he says the tenant he's viewed the apartment. He says what? هذه شقة جميلة. This apartment is beautiful. So alhamdulillah, finishing that, we go on to the vocab and grammar. So what do we say? أريد, what we mentioned again, is the present tense form of a verb that means I want. أريد, I want. With the ta, it means you want, or we said, feminine form. It could be what? She wants. Yeah, she wants. So yeah. So either one of them, it could be both them. تريد. محمود يريد. So يريد means he wants. يريد الشقة. يريد شقة. Mahmoud wants an apartment. أنت تريد شقة. You need an apartment. فاطمة تريد شقة. Fatima wants apartment. أنا أريد شقة. I want apartment. Like that. And again, we give example. أريد, and then the word after it, it's mansub, meaning it has a fatta. It has a fatta. He has got two fattas because it's indefinite. I want a house. أريد بيتا. And this bayt is مفعول به, receive the action of the verb, and it's, as he said, mansub, it has a fatta. Then we mentioned min fadlik. You come across this a lot. It means please. Min fadlik. Min fadlik. Then we mentioned lada is the same as in the both zuruf type of noun, and they indicate place, and then here they mean have. And if you put a ya attached at the end, attached pronoun, obviously again we mentioned whenever you put ya in the previous lesson at the end of a noun, the previous letter takes a kasra to make it flow on the tongue. You can't say indoi, indui. No, it's rough on the tongue, so it's indi. Sounds clear. I mean I have. And the same way for leather, if you put a ya there, you say ladayya, because the alif maksura becomes a ya, so you put a ya with a shadda. Ladayya, I have. Ladayya. Yeah. Again, inda plus ana becomes indana. Yeah, it becomes indana. And then again, lada plus na becomes ladayna. We have. Then jamilun, we said, like for example, these adjectives they follow the noun that comes before them. For example, هذا بيت جميل. This is a beautiful house because why? بيت is masculine, so we use the masculine adjective. But if we got شقة, شقة, شقة is feminine. We mentioned it's got ta marbuta at the end. The wrapped up ta. So the wrapped up ta. So we use the adjective that suits it. So we say هذه شقة جميلة, like the guy says at the end of the conversation. هذه شقة جميلة. He mentions that. If you look there over here, he mentions that because why? Because jamila, it follows the noun before it. So if that's feminine, it also becomes feminine. So you mentioned kam, it means how many. The word that comes after kam is mansub, has a fatta, and is singular. So kam baytan ladayk, how many houses do you have? Then we did a bit of a number thing, so I'm just going to go over this. Got a bit of time here, inshallah. So here we say kitabun. So for numbers 1 and 2, inshallah, if you want to pause this to view this, you can do that. We'll just go over the rules. So 1 and 2, the rules are basically what? They follow throughout. They follow throughout. So what happens first is the thing that's being counted, we call it the ma'dood. The thing that's being counted, it comes first, and then the number is called the adad. It comes after it, but it follows it. Masculine, it'll be masculine. If feminine, it'll be feminine. So here we see kitabun. Kitabun is a masculine noun. So we use the masculine form. Wahidun. Kitabun wahidun. How do we know the difference between masculine and feminine? I've done a different lesson on the channel. Inshallah, if you can follow that. But at the moment, we're saying that a noun that ends with the ta marbuta, a wrapped up ta, but it's not always the case. But please review that lesson on the channel. Okay, how do we say for feminine? Sayyaratun is a feminine noun. So we say what? Wahidatun. So we got the wahid, put a fatha on the dal, the last letter, added the ta marbuta, wahidatun, to get that form. So you can do that with, for example, baytun wahidun. Yeah, shaqqatun wahidatun. What about for duals? So duals, we put a ani at the end of the noun. Yeah, and this is done throughout for duals. So in Arabic, we have a unique thing where we have dual nouns. In English, we don't. We'll have singular, one, and two is a plural. But in Arabic, one we have is singular. We have dual, two, and then three and above is plural. So how do we say two? So we get the original word, kitab. We put a fatha on the last letter, put a ani at the end, and makes it dual. Kitabani means what? Two books. Then we get what? The number, which is ithnani. So kitabani ithnani, two two books. But you can just say kitabani and the person will understand that I want two books. Yeah, kitabani. So that's the masculine form. What about the feminine form? So we got sayyaratun. Again, what we do, how to make a due. We put a fatha on the ta marbuta, make it open ta, and add a alif and noon ani. So it becomes sayyaratani, two cars. And what about the number? We use ithnatayni. So how does it differ? The ithnani becomes ithnatani. So we got the ta. So that's the Jew form. So if we can do that for house, we could say what? Baytani ithnani. For apartment, we'd say what? Shaqqatani ithnatani. So yeah, you could take your time to absorb that, make the notes. And then we're going to do is mention uh, this other rule. And it's going to take a bit of time here. This 3 to 10 is a bit more complicated. But again, this is for masculine and this one's for feminine. So I'm just going to explain this briefly, inshallah. So we said what? In the masculine form here, we got what? Thalatha. So what is this? So this is for masculine. So if we had bait, for example, we said bait. We get the singular form. Bait means house. What's the plural form of bait? Buyut. Houses. So if we want to say 3 or more houses, what do we do for 3 to 10? What we do is, first of all, we're doing the opposite of 1 to 2. We put the counted thing first and then the number. But no, we're doing the number first. So we put the number first. So let's say 3. Okay, why are we using ثلاثة instead of ثلاث or ثلاث? Because in this rule, we use the opposite gender of the noun. So bait is masculine, bait. What's the opposite of masculine? Feminine. So we use the feminine form of the number, which is ثلاثة. But because this rule is the rule of mudaf mudaf alayh that we did, the possessed and the possessor. So the first number takes only one vowel. You can't have tanween ثلاثة. So we have ثلاث instead. Also, we don't have for the mudaf alayh, the possessor, al after it. No, it's just got to be declined and plural. So what would it be? Here was the plural of bait, buyut. So we put kasratain, 2 kasras there. ثلاثة بيوت, meaning 3 houses. So that was for the masculine form. I hope that is understood. If not, you can pause or repeat that and go through that. So what's the feminine form? Again, we do sayyaratun. Sayyara is feminine. So we get the number first. What form of the number we do? We do opposite gender of the noun. So noun is feminine, the number is going to be masculine. Thalathun. But it's got to be one vowel because it's mudaf, meaning possessed. So you can only have one vowel. So it's thalathu. What about sayyaratun? What's the plural? Sayyaratun. Obviously, we're going to have to learn this, open a dictionary, look this. But what do we do with sayyarat? We make a decline. We say sayyaratin. So thalathu sayyaratin, 3 cars. And that's how we basically do that. So I'm going to give a lot of the vocab now with the plural. So ghurfatun, we already mentioned, feminine noun. Plural is ghurafun, rooms. Khamsu ghurafin. So here we say what? We've got the number, because remember, ghurfa is feminine, so we give the masculine number, khamsu, with only one vowel. And we give the plural and decline, ghurafin. So it means what? 5. It means 5 rooms. Yeah, it means 5 rooms. Let's get that. It means 5 rooms. So here, let's get this. It means 5 rooms. And that's what we did in there. Ayu means which. Ayu. We see the ya has a dhamma. Ayu means which. So becomes fi comes there, it is declined, becomes fi ayi. Yeah. So in which. It's a question. In which whatever place is this. Dawrun is what? Is the floor level. The plural is adwarun. Mushahadatun is viewing, to view something. Tafaddal is a command, meaning go ahead. Then we got the verb, which is dakhala yadkhulu. Yadkhulu means he is entering or he enters as a habit. So because it has a ya, is he. When it has a hamza at the beginning, is what? I'm entering. Adkhulu. Adkhulu. And when it's basically, you know, tadkhulu with a ta, so it can be you masculine are entering, or what? You masculine are entering, or it can mean that she is entering, female. So, anta tadkhulu, Zainabu tadkhulu. And remember, with this type of noun, you can have a maful bihi. So, adkhulu al-bayta, I'm entering the house. Adkhulu shaqqatan, I'm entering up an apartment. And the command form, we're going to learn how to make this command later. But what we do is look at the present tense, get rid of the first letter, yeah, and then we get a sukoon on the last letter, and we add, if it's a three-letter verb, we add a hamza, and if it's got a dhamma on it, then we add a dhamma at the beginning, udkhul. But if it's got a fatta or a kasra on the second letter, we add a kasra. For example, yajlisu, it's got a kasra on the lam. If you take away the ya and put a sukoon on the sin, we add ijlisu. But we're going to go into more detail in that later on, inshallah. So musta'jir, we said tenant, mu'ajjir, landlord, yeah. And with that, inshallah, we finished. So inshallah, we'll see you next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.